So you're actually gonna get to see me making meal one, which is going to be mine and Meg's breakfast. So this is my omelette that is ready, 3 whole eggs. And I actually like to make the omelette open. So it almost resembles a pizza, an egg pizza, which is not quite like a pizza, but at least I can imagine pretend it's a pizza, so it tastes better. But trust me, when you are dieting and your appetite picks up, it is literally close enough. Where you close your eyes, put a little bit of ketchup on it, and it's comparable. People are gonna be thinking, no, it's not, but you know, anyone that knows what it's like dieting as a bodybuilder and when your calories get a bit lower, you will be able to relate. Now, a big tip for you guys, anyone that is using a pan. Avocado oil, which is a very, very high heat point oil. You get your pan, get some tissue, and you simply wipe the pan to make it moist. Just so your eggs not stick. Much better than 1-cal spray, as 1-cal spray I actually found really sticks to your pan. And now I'm gonna show you how to make perfect scrambled egg. Meg loves scrambled eggs, so. First, step 1, high heat onto the pan. So make sure it's heated to the max. And then once it is, you're able to tell just with the heat coming off the pan into your hand. So once it's heated up, then you turn the heat all the way down, pour the eggs on, whisk them first, whisk them hard. And then what I actually like to do, leave them for a little while, a little second, let them stir. And look, if your pan is moistened enough, your egg should not stick to it. So I like to bring it in like this whilst it's still in the pan. And then once it's on like this, I actually take it off and then give it a good old mix. If you want your scrambled egg to be cooked, but still moist, not dry, especially if you're not just having whole eggs and you're having egg whites like Meg is, this is the way to go. And look at this. It takes a few moments, but this is literally the perfect scrambled egg. Fluffy. That's how it should look. So this is actually 1 whole egg, 4 egg whites for Meg. And for me, it is 3 whole eggs with 50 grams of veggies. She likes tomatoes, so just some chopped tomato for her. No actual veg, no good, but it's what the lady wants. Now, second portion of our breakfast is going to be white chocolate, cream of rice, which is the Train by JP. This is the goated flavour. White's goated, it's my favourite. I've tried all different flavours and I always go back to that one. Other ones are good. I do like the triple chocolate as well, but white chocolate is the best. Now, I'm gonna show you how to make whey paste. So here, I've actually got 30 grams of whey already. This is the Vanilla ISO Pro. And all we do here is, depending on consistency you want, you put less water in if you want it thicker. But generally for 30 grams, I like around 25 grams of water. You've got to weigh your water to get it right. And then once you've got that in, you give it a mix and then you go through it. So consistency should be like an Angel of Light pudding. I do have my cinnamon on there, but I'm not actually going to put my whey on the cinnamon. Whey actually goes on the side of cinnamon because I had to put my fruit on top of the cinnamon. Now, a lot of bodybuilders don't eat fruit. I am not that bodybuilder. Now, there's a lot of old school diets where you shouldn't eat fruit, shouldn't eat that. Fruit is probably the most beneficial macronutrient source you will have. Plenty of fiber and plenty of vitamins and minerals. So it does not make sense to cut your fruit out in a diet phase. Why? You will not be able to go to the toilet and you will feel like shit. So one thing you can do to benefit your fat loss phases and your gaining phases is actually keeping fruit in. Year round, my fruit and veg intake doesn't change. So fruit wise, I have 450 grams of fruit per day. That's training day and rest day, and that's year round. Very fruits as well. So I have blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, mixed fruit as well. Veggie wise, I have around 300 grams per day, and that does not change either. It doesn't go up or down these are both variables that stay constant throughout my off-season and prep. So eat your fruit, eat your veg, have good digestion, and never struggle to go into toilet. And again, no bloating, guys. If you're getting bloated in a diet phase, probably lack of fibre, guys. Fibre is good, trust me. I'll have to find a little one. There we go. Now, see that? It's got to be 100 gram. And again, people say, bodybuilders OCD. You're not OCD, you just like to have things right. There's a big difference being OCD or just being hungry bodybuilder. So please don't get both confused. The likelihood of you having OCD is very slim. All you are, guys, is hungry and trying to stay busy. That's no OCD. So what I eat during a fat loss phase, this is going to be meal one, guys. So like I said, 3 whole eggs, 75 grams of veggies, 100 grams of blueberries, 100 grams of cream of rice, and 30 grams of Whey Isolate Pro from Trained by JP. Now, if you want yours, you can get yours with my code, Kuba10, the best code in the world. But today, I actually want to show you guys what I actually eat to be able to get in shape and go for a diet phase. So you're gonna get a detailed walkthrough, step by step, of a day in the life and full day of eating. I know, guys, you love that. So you're gonna get to see all the details and all the ins and outs of all the food and all the calories that go from the mouth. One thing you'll always notice, guys, is I always have a little pot, and that is actually my salt intake for the day. So rather than guesswork, I just get a little pot, weigh out my salt for the day, and I just distribute it across meals. I don't actually use salt whilst I'm cooking. I just use it after. I do find it just tastes better. So this allows me to stay accurate with my sodium intake year round, which I definitely think is beneficial for hydration, and in general, salt is an essential mineral. So it's something that is very, very undervalued by many, many people that I definitely do not miss a trick on. So don't you miss a trick.
So Kuba wants me to share my meal one and all my meals today as well, because obviously I'm in a diet phase as well. My diet phase is coming to a very quick end with how my body weight has moved this week. So excellent stuff. So my breakfast is 50 grams of bread, because I love bread and it digests really well for me. If it digests well for you and you make wise choices with the types of bread that you do use, it's like we use sourdough bread, you will be able to utilise it. So yeah, if you can, utilise it. And then I have some tomatoes because I don't really want any other veggies with my breakfast, as well as 1 whole egg and 4 egg whites as well. And as Kuba said with his, we also add salt on top, as well as some pepper, just for a little bit of flavour. I don't like sauce. Even in my diet phase, I'm not really a big fan of sauce, so you'll never really see me put a shitload of sauce on my foods, whether I'm in off-season or prep, because I quite like just raw flavours of foods. You don't have to do that, but for me personally, I don't like it.
Full range of Trained by JP sups. Now, the only difference is I actually overdosed the Omega Pharma Pro. All the other sups I take exactly as is, and I have posted my blood work recently on my Instagram, just to kind of show what my blood work looks like year round, and I have got proof to actually show that that is what it looks like year round. It's very much comparable to what it looks like pretty much a week out from the show to what it looks like right now. So when you do check blood work, don't just look at the metrics of what your blood work looks like in a health phase. And to be honest, my blood work actually looked worse in a health phase than it does right now. So that just shows you these actually work, and you have to be honest with yourself. If your blood work doesn't look respectable year round, you probably need to address something from your lifestyle perspective or your nutritional standpoint. Now for me, anyone that knows me or Meg, we don't eat trash. I think that plays a huge role. The lifestyle part is massive when it comes to keeping your lipids in check and your kidney health, etc. Because we don't balloon up in weight up and down ever. We don't retain huge amounts of water. So I think your eating habits play a huge role, but supplementation I do think is key. So a very important part of meal one. And to see the blood work, I will post it up here so you can see for yourself. And I will do a separate video on the blood work part as well, going into detail as to what I do and how I do to manage my blood work. This is my little step lane. So after every single meal, I will literally eat the meal, I'll stand up and I won't sit down, I won't loiter, I won't waste time, I will not procrastinate, I will get up and walk. Now, it's a great way to get steps in, but more importantly, it's a great way to actually improve your digestion. So what you'll notice, guys, is after my meal 1 and 2, I actually take this walk because Shortly after this, I'm going to be literally sat down on my laptop in my zone, on my laptop, on my iMac, same fucking thing. Anyway, I'm going to be sat down for 2 hours and I'm not going to move from that position. So it only makes sense to actually get some active walking in place and active steps in after our meals, and then be strategic of how I do it and why I do it. Because when I'm working, I just want to focus on work. There's no distractions. I get in my zone, I turn on the flow state, and it's game time. So if you have a step count to meet, be strategic with how you do it. It's very easy to hit 10,000 steps if you are not lazy and you are accommodating certain times during the day where you can actually get your steps in. And trust me, doing it little by little across the day in small bouts makes it extremely easy to get a high step count in, but you need to make sure that you're not lazy and you get up and move.
So me and Kuba are going to London today because he's going to speak at Mark Cole's event for other up-and-coming coaches in the industry to obviously speak about what he's done to be able to build up his own brand. There's lots of different questions that Mark's going to ask. I'll not give it all away, but it sounds really interesting, and I'm sure that the people that are there are going to take loads from it, so it'll be excellent. So obviously we've got to prepare the food for the day, and I think that that's one of the biggest things that lets people down, is that they're not prepared enough, they're not organised enough. Even Zena agrees, look, Caesar and Zena agree. That obviously that's where adherence then falls down, their bodybuilding journey starts to fall down. And unfortunately, if you are wanting to be a bodybuilder and you're working full time, or you're an online coach, or whatever it is that you do, you're going to have to be organised, you're going to have to be prepared for your day, depending on whether you're going out and you maybe get caught up by an extra 2 hours and you've not got a meal with you. You need to make sure that you're prepared with all your meals with you potentially for the day, just to make sure that if you are delayed or anything like that happens, that it doesn't matter. You can obviously just grab it out your bag and you're good to go. I know that sometimes things happen and obviously it's out of your hands as to certain things not being able to get hit, but for the most part you can stay prepared, you can stay organised, and I'm going to show you today kind of what we do in order to do that. So one of the first things when it comes to staying organised and prepared as a bodybuilder, I think bulk cooking's a real base necessity, especially if you have a busy day. Potentially you think myself and Kuba don't have busy days because we're just online coaches, but my day is probably a hell of a lot more busy now than it was when I was employed and working 9 to 5. So you have to be prepared and you have to stay organised, and bulk cooking helps with that. It means that 2 or 3 times per week you can obviously do a bulk cook in your fridge, making sure that you've got a good amount of beef, chicken, vegetables, fats if you use avocado and stuff, your carbohydrates, etc. You've got to make sure that you are having a good amount of foods into your fridge to make sure that when it comes time to be able to prepare a meal, that it's literally all just there. If you've obviously then got to start cooking X, Y, and Z different things in a little portion of chicken, a little portion of rice, etc., your day's just going to be really long. And obviously if you have the time to be able to do that, if you're literally just a bodybuilder every day, then potentially you do have time to do that. But the majority of us have busy days and we do have to make sure that it's a little bit quick and easier on the go. I literally cook for both of us. Obviously we both eat quite a lot of foods. It literally takes me an hour to an hour and 15 max, 3 to 4 times per week for us. Some people may do it less and do a little bit more of it, and maybe it'll be a little bit more time, but it's really not a massive amount of time out your day. If you were a normal person and you were cooking food, you'd probably spend some time doing that, making breakfast, lunch, dinner, etc. So bulk cooking just makes your life simple, easy. You can get it out the fridge, put it in your Tupperware, put it in the microwave or put it on the pan, and you are off on your way. Preparing food to be able to go on a day out, and that's even simple for someone who goes out to work every single day, because that's the same thing. We're pretty much going out for the same amount of time as what somebody would do if they were working 9 to 5. So if you work 9 to 5, this is obviously going to be ideal for you. The day before, obviously we will have our bulk cooked foods in the fridge. What I then do is I chop the vegetables and the proteins into a little Tupperware for each portion of whatever meal that we're going to be having, and then obviously adding in the fats in there if we are having something like avocado, because for me and Kuba, generally if we're having a savoury meal, if we're using fats, it tends to be avocado or some oil, but again, the oil can be added when and if you're cooking, or if you're going to put it into the microwave. So, going away for the day, prepare them in the fridge the day before, which means that obviously what you can do is get up before you go to work, whack them into your bag and just leave the door. If you're like us and you have a little bit more time in the morning and you want to make your food taste a little bit nicer, what we personally like to do is cook our rice fresh every day. I then obviously have my proteins and vegetables already in my container. I add my rice from that day into it in the morning, I whack it in the pan and then put it into my bag.
I've got quite a lot of girls in prep now, so today is my girl heavy day. I've got a wellness athlete competing tomorrow in Portugal. I've got Erin doing the pro show in the figure class on Sunday, same in Portugal. And I've got Hen doing bikini in 5 weeks. So today I've actually pulled cardio away from Hen. She don't need it. She's really stepping forward with fat loss. We're seeing some huge changes. And you will get to a point in prep when you are lean enough to a point where cardio that has a higher impact actually does less. The biggest tool for fat loss is your NEAT. So your non-exercise thermogenesis, whatever it's called. Now, that is a big trick that most people actually miss out on, is when you get tired, your NEAT actually comes down. So it's all the physical activity that you do outside of your training. So walking outside, which is obviously steps, but also fidgeting, the way you move, the way you do everything is your NEAT. Now that will diminish heavily as you get tired. So you will get to a certain point in prep where removing cardio is actually beneficial for fat loss. And I do that with a lot of my clients. I'll keep cardio in, then I'll pull it out when I seem when I do feel like it's appropriate. And then what I always notice is the fat loss actually speeds up off the back of that. So do not just think more is better and harder is better, because it's really not in bodybuilding. Bodybuilding prep and contest prep and a fat loss phase should not be a massive chore. It should actually be pretty easy. Like, you're not going to speak to any of my clients that are literally feeling like they're on prep and they're all like 8, 6, 7 weeks out, even 4 weeks out, and they're literally just starting to feel it now. And that's how it should be. If you are starting to feel like shit at 10, 12 weeks out, your prep is not really going the way it should. Write that one down. So I'm going to create a movement for bodybuilders, and that is stop making your food look like dog. We'll get the letters SHIT. Now, I am extremely comfortable dieting and staying hungry for as long as I need to be. And I'm extremely comfortable both year round being a surplus at a point where food is extremely high or where food is extremely low. Why? I actually put effort into my food. Now, my food will always be of highest quality, and that is a big thing that I'm a massive believer on, especially as your food comes down and as you get less food. I would stress the importance of the food quality is even higher because you get less of it. So when you do adjust your diets, make sure that you keep the quality at the forefront of your mind, because if you are just filling your macros in with complete garbage, you're not going to get the satiety that you need or the nutrients that you also need. Write that one down. Now, without further ado, this is going to be my pre-workout meal. And this is actually organic kimchi that I do have twice per day. So you want some fermented foods for gut health in place. And I only have 25 grams of this meal, and I have 50 grams with my either pre-bed meal or meal 5, depending on what I fancy. So normally I have steak from the last meal. So I generally have that with my steak as well. But what you'll notice steak as well, every single meal is actually different. I have chicken twice, I have venison once, I have steak, then I have whey and eggs. So that is generally my protein sources, and they do vary. On rest days, I actually have salmon. So when you look at all the food sources that I have that are of high quality, I make sure that I actually have a variety of them across the board. And it doesn't have to be expensive. When you look at what you would normally spend just getting snacks and buying shit from the shop, this actually works out a lot cheaper. So pre-workout meal is 125 rice, 25 grams of veggies, 25 grams of organic kimchi, and 100 grams of pineapple. So that is the go-to. I'm actually going to put some GQ's GQ's Thai sauce on it. So I do weigh that out as well, which is extra 5 calories to make my food taste tremendous. And I'm willing to give up these 5 calories for a bit of sauce. I'm not gonna lie, guys.
So meal 2 for me, obviously normally this is meal 3, but because we're going out, we've reorganised the order of our day just to obviously suit what we need to do for the day. Obviously we don't like to do that very often because we like to stay locked into schedule, but sometimes needs must. So this is obviously why we're doing things in a little bit of a different order. So for me, it is 75 grams of rice, 25 grams of veggies, 100 grams of chicken, and that is it.
So the current pre-workouts are just coffees combined with my Trained by JP pumpage and 5 grams of creatine and glutamine. So a little bit of ice, homemade iced coffee. We've actually got an amazing coffee machine from Meg's mum and dad, and we got into a habit of going to Starbucks quite too frequently. So I had a bit of a realization moment where my coffee is actually better than Starbucks.
And it costs a lot of money.
And it's a lot cheaper because Starbucks costs a lot of money. So I realised I better stop wasting money. And yeah, definitely very cost effective to have a coffee machine if you like coffee. Now, I'm definitely not a massive fan of stims. So for me, just 1 shot of coffee is enough, especially having a bit of a break from caffeine altogether. Through the rest days, what I find is just having 1 single shot really gets me going. So it's a great tool to use. So use it wisely. And don't waste your money in Starbucks when your own is better. Pumpage, creatine and glutamine. I actually drink this with a pre-workout meal and it sets perfectly. Creatine is actually a mild GDA as well. So glutamine, a great addition for gut health. So ideal for pre-workout. We've got leg day today and we've got travel to London. That's why we're having meal 2 as our pre-workout meal and not meal 3 as normal. So not the most ideal, but we have to make exceptions at times because today I am guest speaking at Matt Coles' event. So I'm a little excited, a little bit nervous, maybe not nervous, but more so excited. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it and I'm sure he's going to ask me some very interesting questions as well. So I can't wait. Not looking forward to travel as much, but I can't wait for the actual event. Got some high rep sets on this, bro. So this is a post-workout meal now, and it's pretty much the usual. I always have this year round, and it's 125 cream of rice with 50 grams of whey and 150 raspberries. Now, this is probably one of my favourite meals, and it's the white chocolate coconut JP with milk chocolate performance ISO, and it's absolutely amazing. So this is definitely my go-to for easy and fast digesting carbs post-workout. This tastes delicious and super light on the stomach as well.
This is 100 grams of cream of rice, 30 grams of whey and 150 grams of berries. Well, actually it's a little bit less because I've got some blueberries in there, so obviously blueberries are a little bit more calorific, so I had to adjust it just to make sure that I wasn't having too many. So that's my post-workout meal, having it a little bit late, but it is what it is.
Express service to Cleethorpes has been cancelled.
Like I said, it's time for meal number, what would be meal number 2, which is now going down as meal number 4. So 200 grams of venison, 100 grams of rice and 50 grams of veggies, and 100 grams of pineapple, which has already been eaten. So I do apologise, but there was 100 grams of pineapple in this bag here. Now, I generally have pineapple with my pre-workout meal and with my meal 2. Why? tastes really nice, and it does aid in digestion and protein breakdown. So all the benefits and all the taste. Now this is beautifully prepared by yours truly. And why do I have venison? Now, a variety of food sources, a variety of protein sources, which is key, and venison is actually a very lean red meat, which I do love, so that is my go-to. Now I'm going to enjoy this as we are 5 minutes away from the train station and our arrival time, so meal number 4 going down. We have meal number 5, which is 75 grams of rice, 75 grams of rice, with 200 grams of chicken and 50 grams of veggies. Now, I'm actually quite hungry, so I'm going to get stuck into this, guys. Pretty simple meals, but as you can see, every meal we actually put effort into, and we do add veg to all our meals, and we're preparing in the pan first because it always tastes better from a pan and mix it together. Now look, this actually looks tasty. If I was to have all that separate, it would not only look crap, but it would also taste crap. So no bueno for me, guys, no bueno.
Meal 5, which is 100 grams of chicken, some vegetables, so there's about 75 grams of veg in there, and 75 grams of rice. Just obviously finished at the coaching concierge, which was amazing. Kuba did really well. Obviously we'll be able to watch that clip on a different video, so obviously make sure that you tune in. I think that everybody came away from it feeling really inspired. Even though I'm around him every day, made me feel extremely inspired as well to go away and just do even better. So I'm sure that the people that went felt that way too, and they're very lucky to have had someone like Kuba to speak to and ask questions to, especially given what he's achieved for himself. So I'm gonna go on the train home now and relax, get his feet up, and get ready for the MK photo shoot day tomorrow.
Time for final meals, and this I partly prepare in the morning, which is my oats and triple chocolate JP cream of rice. I let my oats soak with the cream of rice, and then in the evening I pop it in the microwave. Now, Meg also has oats before bed, so I will get hers ready. So Meg has a little bit of sweetener in her oats. And I did not soak Meg, so I'm going to have to say I'm sorry. Now, key to making cream of rice and oats is having this. This is probably the best utensil money can buy if you are a bodybuilder. So if you don't have a whisk, get a whisk. If you don't know, now you know. Now normally I will have some fresh steak, but tonight I will have to make an exception, make do with pre-cooked, because we're actually running late. Normally we're probably about getting into bed now, which is 8:30, so it's needs must, guys. We're going for the poor man's job today. I'm actually going to have some venison as well. A mix of steak and venison. But I'm not going to give myself the bits that Meg normally gives me. The best barbecue in the world. GQs, and only 10 calories for 30 grams. And I generally have about 20 grams, so actually 15 grams, which is 5 calories. But it makes the meal taste delicious. So it's worth it. It normally looks 10 out of 10, as I do like my steak medium rare to rare. And right now, having it warmed up, it's probably just about medium, which is okay, but not the most ideal. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I do have my fruits and I'm prioritising them. So we have 150 grams of fruits with my cream of rice and oat mix. And then I do have 30 grams of kimchi with this, the fermented kimchi. Now, generally I have asparagus, but I don't really fancy it, so kimchi will do the job, as it tastes better anyway. Meg has oats, whey, fruit, and dark chocolate before bed. So that is exactly what we are going to do, is performance isolate, and that's her actual favourite flavour, milk chocolate from Trade by JP. And we're going to make that into a paste again, so she likes hers a little bit thicker, so I'd put less water in. Per 30 grams, she normally gets 20 grams of water, and that makes the paste super thick. Not the most appetizing looking, but trust me, it's going to do the job after a big day of travel. Guys, this is what we eat to get lean, and I mean lean. So hopefully you have some insight as to what we do and how we do it. Again, a big push and a big focus on hitting all our micronutrient needs, which are very important across your diet phases and your off-season phases for the most optimal outcomes. I truly believe that, and I will always stand by that. I feel amazing eating this diet, and my digestion has never been so good. So try it out for yourself, guys, and let me know below what you think.